I've just been attending a very insightful session on a Zoom webinar organized by Music Confidential Susan Butler and DDX, which relates to cue sheet transformation. So what are cue sheets? Cue sheets are a document which used to be mostly in paper-based document, in which all the information relating to a music composition is set out. So, for example, you would set out in this cue sheet the basically the music title, the song title, the time on which you have composed such a musical composition with this song, the length of the song, the length of who is the composer, who is the publisher, who is the performing rights society, and also the use of the music. Is it going to be used in a film? Is it going to be used in a radio program, a TV program? And so all this information in the cue sheet is used then to actually collect royalties all around the world by various collecting societies around the world, music publishing collecting societies, as well as the publishers, who own basically the copyright in the work, and then they trickle it down to the composers and the other rights owners on the song. So right now, of course, with the increase of the digitalization and technical tools that we have at our that we can use, there's also a need in the music industry to create some digitalized cue sheets as opposed to paper-based cue sheets or Excel spreadsheet cue sheets. And so some digitalized, some electronic cue sheets, which would be standardized around the globe. And that is not easy because obviously we all have different cultures. So, why in India would they use the Western alphabet to create a cue sheet? Why would they do that in Japan or in Asia? So it's like the various industry players in the music industry are actually wondering, how can we make this standardized template, which would be electronic based, digital, and that we could use actually to easily set out all the information relating to a song, relating to a music track, and then distribute it, share it among various collecting societies around the world, and etc. So this 1 hour and a half webinar on music cue sheets was fascinating, and to see the evolution, how the players in the industry. So, for example, Mark Veermaat from Soundmouse, which is a business which basically supports publishers and right owners getting their royalties in the world, and they are based in London. So Mark Veermaat, the head of business development at Soundmouse, was one of the participants in this very insightful session on cue sheet transformation. But we also had Alex Batterby, who is the director of Sony Music Publishing, in charge of the evolution of cue sheets. We also had several members of collecting societies available, such as the Jens Kindermann from the German Collecting Society for Music Publishing, and also Jose Macaro from CSAC being the organization which heads up all the music publishing collecting societies in the world, and in particular in Europe. And so they spoke during this presentation about the work that they've done, the collecting societies, and also Sony, but Alex Batterby from Sony Music Publishing, about improving cue sheets. So that was really fascinating. They did mention that CSAC and some publishers, came together to launch an harmonized music cue sheet. So there you go, standardized electronic music cue sheet templates. And so that is an initiative between CSAC, the Global Voice of Music Publishers, AIMP and IMPF. And they created a website which is quite interesting for people who are in the field, which is Society Publisher Forum, all in one word, societypublisherforum.net. Okay, and this joint initiative is to basically create that standardized, digitalized cue sheet, which then can be used all around the globe and can make it easy. So for collecting societies and publishers to get the royalties and to disseminate the information about the music track. So one of the points which were raised was, how about we set out the code, the ISWC code, in the cue sheet. So what is the ISWC code? Well, that is a code which is attributed to a song, to a music track, by an organization which basically provides this standardized code, and then you can actually always remember, find out about this particular track because you've got the ISWC code. And so there are even some softwares which are audio recognition software, which can actually find out the ISWC code of such music track because they've recognized it through this tool of the audio recognition software. The problem, though, when you create your cue sheet in relation to a new music track, is that you don't have the ISWC code yet. Okay, it's not been created yet by the organization in charge of creating ISWC code. So how do you go around that? Well, it means that, according to the participants to this cue sheet transformation webinar this morning, it means that basically, after creation of a cue sheet, there should be some additional information set out in that cue sheet in relation, in particular, to the new ISWC code that has been created afterwards. So that was quite interesting, to add the ISWC code to the cue sheet after the creation of that cue sheet, and also adding the identifiers for the composition that need to be set out as well on the cue sheet. The problem with that is that at the moment, I understand that the identifiers for the musical composition are not really great yet. So it's all a work in progress, you see, in terms of getting AI and technological tools to support the music industry in creating those standardized codes, the ISWC codes, the standardized template for cue sheets. It's a very interesting work in progress, and I'm glad to see that the music industry is so much, on the ball, ready to make all these changes and get a standardized template out there. If I compare with, for example, the film industry, I think that the music industry is way ahead of the game in terms of basically making the most of technological tools to improve the systems and tracking down of the money flows and workflows in the music industry. So that is, thumbs up for the music industry. Thumbs up as well to Susan Butler, who organized this webinar on music cue sheet transformations today. I think that it would be helpful if you are interested in the music business to subscribe to our newsletter on Music Confidential. All right then, bye for now, guys.